Good afternoon, bonjour. It's me again. I think this might be the last time that you guys will have a little presentation from me like this semester, which is crazy to think. I feel like it's gone really fast the past couple of months. It's just been crazy. So, anyway, we're going to get into multiple object pronouns today. And so this is kind of taking what you did last week and the new stuff and just kind of mushing it all together and blending it all together. So I'm going to walk through this with you. It's nothing new. It's just kind of putting it together and applying it a little bit. So there are a couple things that we need to just review and talk about. Don't forget when you have multiples that you have this order to follow. So this is very important. This is key. This is on your cheat sheet, and I listed it on your assignment for tomorrow on Canvas so that you don't forget it. So when you have multiple objects, don't forget that the moto, nu, and vu, le, la, le, lui, l'air, and then I and on. So you have to have them in the correct order. Also, don't forget that they go before your verb, before your closest verb, and before your avoir or être in compound tenses. So those are the keys. You're going to do the same thing you've been doing. You're going to find it, change it, and move it to the correct spot. The only challenge now is that you might have one, you might have two, you might have three. So you've got to find all of the options. So I would encourage you, the easiest way to do this is to use this slide and just go through, look for a me, a te, a nu, and a vu. Look for le, la, le. Look for lui and l'air. Look for I, and look for on. So we're going to try to do this just as we would have done if we were in class right now, so that we can go through some of these. So examples, here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the sentence. We're going to say, do I have a me? Do I have a te? Do I have a nu, or do I have a vu? If you have any of those things, you would want to underline it. In this example, I don't have any of those. Do I have a le, a la, or a le? I do. So I would want to underline this, okay? And if I want to be really good, I'm going to tell you that it's going to change to le, okay? Normally, like on a worksheet, I would write that up above the word, but since we don't have a worksheet, we're just going with it. Do I have a lui or a l'air? I do, right here, which is to the girls. So I would underline it. I would write l'air, okay, because it's all going to go together. And then at the park. So do I have, you're just going to keep going. Do I have a y, which would be a location, or an en, which is a quantity? You have a location. So this is going to change to I. Wow. If I could type, that'd be amazing. Okay, so now I have three different things that I'm replacing, and they all have to go before my verb. Every single one of these things has to go before my verb. So what I've got to do is I have got to figure out which one goes first. So I've got le, l'air, and I. So if I look at my order, I just go in order. So le is going to go first, then l'air, then I. So when I rewrite this, they all go before my verb, but I'm going to have je, le, l'air, I, done. Okay, so I have basically taken the sentence that says, I am giving the flowers to the girls at the park, and condensed it down to, I am giving them to them there. Which sounds weird that they would say that, probably not something they would say, but for our purposes, for practicing, we're just practicing identifying the objects and replacing them correctly. So we're not too worried about if the sentence actually makes sense or not. Okay, let's try another one. So we're just going to go through each one of them again. We're going to go through and look for anything that would change to me, te, nu, or vu. So take a second and do that. We're going to go through anything that would change to le, la, or le. So go through and do that. We're going to go through anything that would change to lui or l'air. So look for those. We're going to do, we're going to change anything that is I, a location, or an en, a quantity. So what I want you to do is take a second and think about the things that you would replace in that sentence. You might have one, you might have two, you might have three. So see if you can figure out what needs to be changed in that sentence. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start explaining. So there's no moto nu or vus. There's no lolales. There is a à Louise, which is going to change to Louis because Louise is one person. Okay? And there is a chez elle, which is how you say at her house. If you're looking at your cheat sheet, chez is a commonly used word with a location because it literally means at the house of. So that is going to be replaced with a Y. So once again, both of these things need to move before my verb. So they're both going to move before téléphone. So when I rewrite this, I have to once again look back here at my order, okay, and decide which one is going to go first. So looking at my order, I know that it's going to be Louis. So Marc, Louis, y téléphone. Okay, that is your answer. I love autocorrect. So Marc, Louis, y téléphone. So Mark is calling her there, is what that says. Okay, we have two more examples to work through here. So, nous avons acheté 12 fraises au supermarché. So I'm going to give you a little question here and ask you to go through and do this yourself. So I want you to start at the beginning, look for moto, nous and vous, look for lolales, look for Louis and l'air, then E, which would be a location, and en, which is a quantity. So let's see if you can figure this one out, and then I will go through it in just a second. Okay, so you should have answered this question in the little Edpuzzle video. Basically, you have two things in here. So the first thing you have a quantity, which is your 12 fraises. It's going to change to en. And you have a location, which is going to change to the I. Those are the only two things that we have in here. We do have passé composé, okay? So if you remember, when you have passé composé, it goes all the way before your avoir and your être. So I have two things. I'm going to look back at my order. Which one goes first? I, then en. I remember it like a donkey, like ion, like a donkey sound. So that is how you're going to tell which one goes first. So here we go. When I rewrite, nous avons, avons acheté. And then if you remember, there's a rule that when you have a number or a quantity, that number is going to stay out. So nous y en avons acheté 12. So that says we bought 12 of them there. That is what that would translate to. So nous y en avons acheté 12. So hopefully you were able to get that answer. We've got one more to work through here for this video. So, ils pensent que vous allez faire des choses bizarres à l'école. They think that you all are going to do weird things at school. Once again, we don't really care if it makes sense. We just want to know that we are able to identify. So, I want you to go through. It's going to pause right here and ask you a question. Which one of those which words need to be replaced? So moto, nous, vous, lolale, louis, l'air, I, or en. Do I have any of those in this sentence? Okay, to answer your question, you have two. So you have some bizarre things that is going to be replaced with en, because you've got the day. Remember, a partitive article, du, de, la, day, is going to be replaced with en. And you've got à l'école, which is going to replace with the Y, at school. So when you go to rewrite this sentence, the rules are before your verb, before your closest verb, before avoir, être with passé composé. In this sentence, we have multiple verbs, okay? So we need to look for our closest verb. Our closest verb, if we just start here and work our way backwards, you have to go like this. Is faire a verb? Yes, it is. So that's your closest verb. So everything is going to go right here before faire. So you're just going to copy the rest of this sentence down. Oh, look, and I even made a mistake there. Y en faire. So, il pense que vous allez y en faire. Okay? So that's basically what you're going to condense that sentence down to. So we're going to work on these. Obviously, today's assignment is just to watch this video, work through the examples in the Edpuzzle video, and then tomorrow you're going to have a little bit of a Canvas check. This is something that for some people it's easy. For some people it's really difficult to wrap your brain around. It's okay if it's hard. It's okay. I'm not expecting it to be perfect. It is something you'll see again in French 4. We'll review it. You're going to continue to see it. And sometimes it's one of those things that you do a couple times before it finally clicks and you're like, oh, I get it. I've tried to make it as easy as possible for you guys, keep it as easy as possible. Obviously, if we were in class, we could do some more challenging sentences that we could talk through and work through together. But I think tomorrow you have like 5 of these to do on Canvas. There's really not that many. And then I'm going to kind of ask you how you're feeling about it. If you feel pretty good, we might move on to some other things next week. If not, we'll just keep practicing this. So please be honest. Let me know. And I've just got one more slide here for you guys, a couple of helpful hints. So this is really key. Do them in order. So use your order chart. Start with moto, nu, and vu. Look for those. Then move on to lo, la, le, and so on and so forth. I always, like if I'm doing it on paper, I will underline and then write above. And here I underlined and then like put in parentheses next to it what I was going to change it to. Then I almost always draw my arrows. So obviously it's hard to draw arrows on here, but draw my arrows to the verb. Where is it going to go? And then I rewrite in the correct order. If you try to do like step 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go back to 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to end up doing the sentence 100 times. So I would definitely do them in order, write them all above, draw your arrows, then worry about rewriting the sentence. I hope this helps. I hope that you guys find this relatively easy. I am obviously here to help. I've seen many of you on Zooms and or in one-to-one Zooms, and that's been fantastic. And I hope that you guys have a good rest of the week.